Hello everybody, my name is Charlie and welcome back to a brand new Doctor Who YouTube video. So apologies again for the absence of videos in the last couple of weeks. I tried to do a sort of reboot of my channel, it didn't really work, and I sort of decided on a new video schedule. So basically what you can guarantee now, I'm back in the flow of videos and I have enough time to make them, which I have been thoroughly planning and planning just loads and loads and loads of videos ready, and well, I'm recording this very far in advance, so this video won't be actually published for a couple of weeks, but yes, so basically now you can expect more frequent videos, and usually when there will be a video it will be published on a Wednesday, Friday or Sunday. So today it is Friday, and I'm going to be doing story 3 of my fan series with the third Doctor, Joe Grant, and spoilers obviously, the Cybermen. So yes, this is Blood of Silver, chapter 1. Like I said, feel free to give me any, feedback, constructive criticism, positive. I don't really mind, to be honest, as long as it's helpful and, nice as always. So yes, I really hope you enjoy this, and by the way, I did try to, about a week ago, upload a video, quite an interesting theory video actually, called What If Doctor Who Wasn't Cancelled? For some reason the audio cuts out towards the very start, so don't bother watching it, but on Sunday then I will be doing a re-upload of that video, along with a review of the 7th Doctor story, Remembrance of the Daleks. So that's 2 more videos on that one day, so I hope you look forward to that. So without further ado, let's get into this video and I hope you enjoy. Okay, this is Blood of Silver, chapter 1. The bustling Akhatenian market was busy, to say the least. Street vendors lined the dirty streets, fumes from cooking delicacies and spices invading the citizens' nostrils. Large terracotta buildings were packed on the flat-topped asteroid, no doubt expensive considering the view of the gleaming pyramid in the distance. Species from galaxies across milled about in the streets, apprehensively awaiting the Queen of Years' song. However, this wasn't the strangest thing, for in a dim alley 4 streets away, a blue box began to materialise. The Doctor strode out into the dirty street, coughing at the sand and dust lining the ground. "Where are we, Doctor?" A female, squeaky voice spoke from inside the TARDIS. "Oh, this is a coincidence," the Doctor murmured to her, his grey hair blown backwards from the wind. "We are on Akhaten, Joe." He adjusted his green jacket and large black bow tie. "Akhaten? That sounds familiar, Doctor." "Indeed it does, Joe. I visited Akhaten with some of my friends a couple of 100 years ago." Joe, a quizzical expression on her face, queried, 200? "Yes," the Doctor curtly replied, also puzzled at the lack of people on the street. After around 10 minutes of walking, Joe and the Doctor emerged on a crowded street filled with market stalls and claustrophobic due to the high-rise buildings sprinkled across the street. "It's wonderful," Joe cried, rushing over to an alien jewellery stall and keenly examining the wares on the wooden table. The Doctor slinked back into an alcove adjacent to a white building, no doubt some sort of temple, observing the street displayed before him. As much as he enjoyed Akhaten and its festivals and parties, it did get a bit tiring after visiting only 17 times. Just his luck that the random planet feature on the TARDIS sent him here. Well, at least Joe's having a nice time, he thought to himself, watching her examine a dazzling sapphire-coloured bracelet. Joe had recently got engaged, and the Doctor suspected that their adventures were nearing a close. Once Joe had left the market stall, an intricate silver bracelet clamped over her wrist. The pair continued strolling down the street. Suddenly, the Doctor slipped off to another stall, his face returning to a cheery state, so unlike the wary, intense demeanour he had adopted on Akhaten. "Come and look at this, Joe," the Doctor called over, waving a slightly wrinkled hand. She rushed over, her eyes travelling all over the delicious Akhatenian delicacies and foods, Joe's eyes shining in wonder and intrigue. "I'll miss this," the Doctor thought to himself silently. Dishes and meals of all kinds lay sprawled on wooden boards, strangely coloured ingredients lying beside them. Nearby, Joe walked over to a platform supporting several metal bowls. The Doctor contemplated, following Joe to the table. "This is new. I never remember silver apples on Akhaten." Indeed, there were silver orbs in the shapes of apples in one of the bowls, the red sun's light reflecting off them. Joe, cupping one in her hand, tossing it and catching it again, conversed with a tall, bespectacled salesperson. Meanwhile, the doctor walked back to the main market stall, and observed the other worker. He appeared humanoid, and looked human too, but there was something off about him. He stood straight-backed and face-forward, his electric blue eyes glazed with a silvery colour. He appeared strange, distant, a shell. "Hello, how do you do?" the doctor greeted the man, reaching out a calloused hand to meet his. In a slow, robotic motion, he lowered his head to meet the doctor's, and stared blankly at him, a shell of a life. No emotion, no feeling, no joy. He remained this stare for several seconds, before returning his blank gaze upwards. "Very well then," the doctor mumbled, striding away. The doctor found Jo, who was waiting in the street, a silvery apple held limply in her hand, the silver bracelet encircling, trapping her wrist. "Jo," the doctor commanded sternly, "you must not eat that apple. Do you understand?" His face was grave, and his electric blue eyes were dappled with fear and regret. "Yes," answered Jo, seeming slightly intimidated by this version of the doctor. Yes, he was serious at times, but never like this. Something was definitely wrong, and Jo Grant was going to find out. "I do apologise, Jo," the doctor admitted sheepishly. "It's just my paranoia. I'm so used to danger and threat that I'm always on edge, even when we're completely safe. I do apologise, it is just my paranoia." 2 minutes of strolling and several glances at nearby stalls later. The two seemed rather bored. They'd both run out of Akhatenian money ages ago, and all 100 Akats would get them was Jo's bracelet and a silver apple that the girl still held in her left hand. "Isn't there anything else to do on Akhaten than simply browse the streets?" inquired Jo. "I'm sure there must be plenty to do on a place like this." "Well," the doctor informed Jo, more or less back to his usual self, "tomorrow the Queen of Years will sing a long song and lull the old god back to sleep." Another quizzical expression flashed across Jo's face, but left as quickly as it had come. No doubt she didn't know what any of those things meant. "But right now, we could rent some travellers," the doctor suggested. "They're funny things, sort of like hovering motorbikes. We could explore the rings if you'd like. This isn't the only asteroid, you know." "That sounds brilliant," Jo cried. "Let's go right now." "If you wish," the doctor chuckled, delighted at her amusement, and walked down a nearby side street. Here, the buildings were mediocre, slightly less glamorous, but still so wonderfully alien. A few more minutes of walking later, the pair reached an odd-looking building. It was unimpressive, to say the least. It was sea green, decorated with black hexagons. Low-roofed and modest, it seemed comparatively okay. "Here we are," the doctor exclaimed, his crinkled face alight with excitement. Slightly confused, Jo stepped into the building and saw nothing. The doctor strode past her and walked down a set of wooden stairs. At the bottom lay a rusty brown door, flecked with... were those burns? "After you," the doctor spoke, standing beside the door as Jo ran down the stairs. She heaved open the rusty door and saw a large, low-ceilinged room. Inside were at least 30 red, what Jo presumed were travellers. They all appeared so futuristic and alien. The two were then interrupted by a strange noise that the doctor had heard too many times. It was strange and repeated itself a few times every second. It was strange, a sort of hissing, at the same time clanking and thudding. Like a robot, like a machine. "Cyberman," the doctor shouted, as the door flew open. So, I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. So, yes, not really much happened, I will admit. We don't even see the Cybermen just yet, but it will get there. This is sort of a slow burn kind of story. But yes, I really enjoyed writing this and recording this. By the time this video is published, I probably would have already recorded chapters 2, 3, and 4, probably. So, yes, I still will be actively responding to comments, of course, when I do publish this. And so, yes, feel free to give your feedback and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I am nearing 50 subscribers so much, and although that isn't that much, then that's already halfway to 100, which is my overall goal by I've set it to somewhere like the end of April next year to get to 100 subscribers, so I would really appreciate it if you helped me out like that. And yes, I hope you enjoy this video, and yes, hope you look forward to my 2 videos on Sunday. They will be Remembrance of the Daleks review, and I will be re-uploading What If Doctor Who Was Never Cancelled in 1989. Part 1, that is, out of 4. So yes, I hope you look forward to those videos. Feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on Sunday. Goodbye.